Welcome to my second tutorial about motion tracking. In tutorial number 40, I demonstrated how to track a moving object. I then used the tracking data to pin a string of text to the object. The tracked object was inanimate. It was a house, which moved about in the frame due to hand camera shake, and wasn't obscured by anything throughout the clip. In this tutorial, I want to take it a step further. I'll be tracking someone's face, then arranging for that face to be pixelated. The pixelated area will follow the face throughout the length of the clip. There are all sorts of potential problems that can occur when tracking someone's face. They may turn their head during the clip, then turn it back a second or two later. The face may be obscured momentarily by another object. The clip may contain two scenes where the subject will be in a different place at the start of the second scene, etc., etc. Each of these scenarios will result in tracking being lost. I'll deal with some of these issues in a future tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll show you what to do when a scene change occurs. Welcome to tutorial number 41. I'm going to start with a short sequence of video from a Laurel and Hardy film. The link is included in the description. I've placed this on track 1 and I'll rename it clip 1. The area I want to track is Ollie's face, so I need to view the clip to see if there's going to be any problems during the tracking. Now you can see here that Ollie's face is partially obscured by Stan's head, so that may cause a problem with tracking. Here the clip has a change of scene, where Ollie's face moves to a completely different part of the frame. That will cause a problem. Both these problems should be easy to solve. At one point, Ollie turns his head to one side, but I don't think that'll be much of a problem. Other than those two issues, I think we should be okay. Now to do the tracking. I'll make sure that the clip is selected, then open up the motion tracking panel using Alt-M. I covered the motion tracking panel options in tutorial 40, so I won't go into detail here. I'll make sure that the timeline cursor is at the start of the event. I know I don't necessarily need to do this to start tracking. There's a tracking both ways button on the panel. However, I found that you're more likely to get a better track by starting the tracking at the beginning if possible. If the subject to be tracked doesn't appear at the beginning, then you need to move the cursor to a point on the timeline where it does appear. On the tracking panel, I'll select Add Region. I'll then position the region mask over Ollie's face. I'm going to reduce the size of the mask to cover just his moustache and nose. I found that a more accurate track is obtained if the area under the mask is unique, more or less, through the clip. Now everything is prepared, I'll initiate the tracking. But first of all, I need to check this mode and make it location. And now I'll track. Now, as you can see, the tracker stopped at the scene change. I'll just cursor forward to check. Yes. Now at this scene change, I need to relocate the mask. I can now continue tracking. Now when tracking is complete, the tracking line should be completely green. If there are any gaps in it, you need to go through the clip slowly, checking the mask to see where it has failed. Failed frames can be fixed by relocating the mask to the correct position for that frame. I can now preview the clip to check the validity of the tracking. After previewing, I'll return the cursor to where the subject starts being tracked. In my case, that's the start of the clip. With a successful track, I can now proceed to transfer the tracking data. But before I do, I need to set up a Bezier mask, which I can apply pixelation to. I'll click the event effects icon on the clip, then the Add FX icon on the plugin chain. This will open up the plugin chooser, where I can select Bezier masking. I then click Add and OK. If the Bezier masking frame with handles doesn't appear on the preview screen, I need to click on the appropriate tab in the plugin chain. In the Bezier masking options, I'll select Mask 1. I'll change the mask type to oval. Then, using the on-screen handles, I'll resize and reposition the mask over Ollie's head. The size of the mask will determine the pixelation area, so bear this in mind when sizing it. With all that done, I'll return to the motion tracking panel. To transfer the motion data, I'll first make sure that the clip is selected, which it is. I'll then open the motion track transfer menu and select clip 1. I'll then select Vegas Bezier masking. A message should appear below the green tracking line indicating that data transfer was successful. With a successful data transfer, I'll preview the clip. You'll see that the mask follows Ollie's head reasonably well. There's a slight problem though. At the start of the second scene, Ollie's head is slightly smaller than in the first scene, so the mask appears bigger. I could accept this, of course, and allow more of him to be pixelated. If I wanted to though, I could go to the start of the second scene and decrease the mask size to suit. I can do this because the size component of the Bezier mask isn't locked to the tracking data. I'll do that now. I can't relocate the mask because this is locked to the tracking data. Another issue that's obvious is that the mask moves off centre when Ollie turns his head. This is because the mask is tied to his nose and moustache, causing it to move off to the right. This issue can be resolved, but I think I'll leave that for another tutorial. Now I'm satisfied that the Bezier mask is doing what it should do, I need to apply the pixelate effect to the mask. If the plugin chain isn't open, I need to click the event effects icon and clip 1. I now need to click the FX plus icon and choose Vegas Pixelate, add and OK. I'll move back to the beginning of the clip. I'll now adjust the two sliders until I get a suitable mosaic over the mask. The degree of pixelation will obviously be a matter of personal choice. With the mask suitably pixelated, you can see that there's a problem. The rest of the frame is masked out. To correct this, I need to move the pixelate effect to before the Bezier mask effect in the plugin chain. I then need to open up the Bezier mask in Options, General Options, and place a check mark in the Mask FX checkbox. This will reveal the unmasked area of the frame. I can now play the clip again. There are other things I can do with the Bezier masking tool. Just open that out. I can feather the mask. So there's no odd edge around the circle. In conclusion, you can see that the motion tracking panel in Vegas Pro 18, when combined with other effects, is quite a powerful tool. A successful track depends upon the subject to be tracked and the subject's interaction with other objects in the scene. Most problems can be overcome though. I hope you found this one useful and not too tedious. Until the next tutorial, bye for now.